Hi, it's Jasmine. You know, that girl who did you know what way before the internet ever existed. Join me and my special guest every week as we talk about anything and everything because nothing is too taboo. So punch your ticket and get on board the crazy train with me, Jasmine St. Clair. All aboard! Welcome to a brand new episode of Crazy Train Podcast. This week's guest is one of my favorites, one of the most gorgeous, busty Midwestern blondes. She looks like a Malibu Barbie, but she's from the Midwest. So let us welcome to the show, Rachael Cavalli. Thank you so much for joining me today, Rachael. I have to say, I love your photos, and when I see them, I think of Malibu Barbie, but I know you're not from California.
Oh, thank you. That's a compliment. No, I'm from Indiana.
And did you ever participate in Miss Nudes, the Miss Nudes of Poppin'? I know that was a thing back then, like back in the 90s.
I
You
did.
did?
I did that. I think it was like maybe my second year in. I did. Let's see. Flavor Flav was there and Ron Jeremy.
Oh my God. Okay.
It was an experience.
Yeah, what year was that? Because I was there when Slash was there and Ron Jeremy. It was a wild party.
Yeah, let me see. I wanted maybe 2018.
So they're still doing it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe it was 2017, but one of those years.
Well, what even got you into the adult film business? Because I could totally see you being like the ideal calendar girl, like for life.
Oh, thanks. That's a
It's
compliment.
true.
I enjoy it. I originally started out trying to do mainstream stuff and it wasn't paying enough and you were like there all day long. So somebody had suggested this and I did it and I loved it and I'm like, oh, this is fun. So it's more up my alley.
Well, did you have was that pre I'm sorry to ask you this, are those real or fake?
They're really attached to me.
Okay, so was the mainstream stuff prior to them being super attached to you or after?
Yeah, I had them prior to coming in. Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, a lot of girls try to dabble with the mainstream stuff like as a side gig, and then some of them get recognized. But since that was before, I totally understand that. What was your first
Yeah.
experience like doing the adult films, and was it everything you expected?
It was what I thought it was going to be as far as like going into like hair and makeup and then just doing what you had to. I mean, I guess the positions was all new to me, but but it was actually like a pretty chill day. And my first performer was Jesse Jones that I'd ever worked with. So he was like really popular then, and he just like whipped me through it. So it worked out great.
That's insane. It's kind of like intimidating when you work with a veteran. Were you scared at all?
hmm
Or
I was nervous,
yeah.
yes, for sure. Yeah, but I'd never seen any of his work. I just heard good things about him. So, yeah,
It seems like
it
you
was
had a
nice.
pleasant experience. My first experience was with Peter North, but I didn't know it was Peter North because the only film I watched in my life, they mixed up the credits,
Uh-huh.
right? So they put Peter North's name under Randy Spears.
Oh my.
I thought I was getting some big blonde hunk. I end up with some
Oh.
dark-haired hunk. Okay, fine. I prefer blondes, by the way. Um, I was like, and I had no idea they called him the decorator either. So I was in,
I didn't know that either. That's new to me.
dude, oh my God, that pop shot was like all over the place. It got in my hair. And that's like one thing is I don't like anyone touching my hair or my boobs. Like in
Yeah.
personal life relationships, I tell guys, do not touch my boobs. I bought them just to be looked at and to look good under clothes, not for you to enjoy them, which is pretty selfish. So you've been at this for quite some
That's funny.
time now. Are you one of these girls that
Mhm.
embraces the whole MILF category? Because I think it's a very big trend right now, or not trend, but it's a very big it's a big thing. It's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. So I was older when I got in, and I've been a mom for years. So yes, I just picked it up and still rolling with it. Rolling with it pretty hard, actually. It works, you know?
I don't know. Like, I think a lot of younger guys prefer older women. Like, a lot of the younger guys I see on social media prefer MILF porn. What do you
Yeah.
think the attraction is?
I think that girls maybe their age are a little bit more wild and probably not more nurturing. And I think they get like a nurturing feeling from us. So maybe that and tits, big tits. Guys love that.
I know.
Whether you're young, old, I feel like that's, you know.
Well, they claim to be butt guys, but I think deep down they also like the tits, and that's what it's all
Yeah,
about.
for sure.
I want to get mine bigger
Yeah.
again. Like the biggest mistake I made was just like taking them out, making them smaller. It's like then I look at you, I'm like, geez, I got to get back on this. Like I got to get back in the game of having boobs. Um, really. Do you ever see yourself retiring, like permanently out of this business, or do you have a love for it that just keeps you here?
Right now I just have a love for it that keeps me here for sure. It fits into my like schedule and lifestyle, and it's I enjoy it.
Yeah, I never saw like the cougar stuff being something really negative towards women. Like the first time I was called a cougar, I
Mhm.
was in Hustler magazine and they whipped up old photos of mine putting in as cougar of the month. I'm like, okay, I guess that's okay. Like I guess it's an honor to be a
Yeah,
cougar. Is there someone you haven't
yeah,
worked with yet that you really want to work with?
yeah. There's actually quite a few people, to be honest. A couple girls like Phoenix Marie,
Hmm.
Angela White, obviously. There's a bunch of people. I can just say a couple. There's probably a good handful. I've got a couple guys that I've been wanting to work with that are coming soon for my content, so that's
Who are
cool.
they?
Well, that's a secret. We have to
Okay,
keep it
okay,
a
okay, okay.
secret
But
for
are
this
they cute at
thing.
least? Are they cute when they take their tops off? That's all I want. Okay, fine.
Yes,
Thank God.
yes,
I
yes.
have like I think it's this weird thing. Like you talk about older women being nurturing towards younger men, right? So I work with pro wrestling. I see a lot of hot guys like in their 20s. I tell guys that are 28 they're too old for me. But there's this one guy working with me this past week. Oh my God, he took his shirt off. He was 22 and there was all this flab. I'm like, that is fat. So my friend said, no, that is baby fat, you asshole. Which is just really,
Oh, oh, little baby.
I
That
know.
makes sense, though.
I did.
That
I
makes
did the
sense.
Pillsbury Doughboy thing, the hoo hoo.
He hasn't fully grown in.
Certain parts aren't grown in yet. Um, I guess that's a cougarish thing. I'm kind of a MILF because I have a cat. So that's the type of a cat mom or something. Um,
Of
yeah.
course, of course.
So do you prefer shooting for studios like Brazzers versus creating your own content? Because I believe there's got to be some challenges with like doing your own stuff all the time, right?
I think it's probably 50-50, to be honest. Like, I love coming to set because I get to see people I've worked with over years that I consider friends, and we catch up. And then, like, they make you pretty, you get your hair and makeup done, whatever. And then when you're shooting your own stuff, you get to do it your way. You can match your colors, your makeup with your outfits that you want to do that day or whatever, get creative. But some days I don't want to think. So it's nice to go to set.
Now, is there anything specific on your OnlyFans page that maybe other creators do not have besides you?
I think that I like specialize in MILF mommy stuff, but I do have a lot of cuck stuff coming and on there. I have a lot of feet stuff that's coming. I just started doing that. I'm trying to like tap into other stuff that I haven't really done too much of, you know, give a little variety. So I guess that's fun too. Making your own stuff is that's a plus. Get to do what you want.
But aren't there challenges with getting talent, like reliable talent for things like that?
I'll be honest. I thought that it was going to be because this year is like my year of kind of went hard in content, and I haven't had a problem yet. So keep fingers crossed that it keeps going this good. But yeah, it's been pretty well.
I can imagine because I just like I compare like the um the industry now versus to when I was in it when we this was never something you'd
Hmm.
even dream about like the internet being out there, right? And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
everyone's doing their own stuff. You guys own your own content. What's your experience like with Brazzers?
I like browsers. I like working with them. I actually just worked with them like 4 days ago. We did like a little ad campaign thing, so that was fun. Switch it up. But yeah, they're good. I like them.
So did you work with Vic Legina, or is that was that before your time?
What? I'm
Did you ever
sorry.
work
Can you
with
repeat
Vic
that?
Legina? He's a director. He was a director for Brazzers.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, I think he probably quit right when you were coming in to that business. But there are just so many of these digital platforms. What was your experience like with Elegant Angel?
I like Elegant Angels too. The director's good. Let's see, Pat. Mine. I usually work with him when I work for them. There's another director. I feel so bad. He's really nice too, but I can't remember his name. It's too many. But they're always good to me. They treat me good. I have my toy with them,
Oh,
so that's nice. I have my butt coming out soon,
ouch.
so yeah, so that's fun.
So tell us about the toy. And did you have fun making the toy? Like, did they cover your body with alginate, then just put that plaster on you?
No, they did like 3D picture thing and did it that way. So, but it's going well. I think I've had it for 2 years now.
What's it
So,
called?
just Rachel Cavalli's pocket pussy thing.
It's amazing what's coming out there now because I get free stuff from Adam and Eve now and again because they're one of the sponsors of the show. And it's like you think back in time, you would never imagine half the stuff being out there. There's even like a sex doll brothel, which is insane. I guess people don't see it as cheating if it's like a sex doll and you're ejaculating into a piece of
Yeah,
plastic. Do you have a sex doll
yeah.
yet?
No, I don't. But I'm like curious about that too because like I wonder how you clean it. Like, do you have to clean it all the time? I mean, I'm sure it gets dirty, right? Like, I don't know. I have like one of those like half torsos that I have to use for like my content, and it gets dirty all the time just because the skin is supposed to feel real, but it's like I don't know, constantly bathing him.
I don't know. I would think it's like warm water because I was trying to open up a sex doll brothel years ago with my ex, and he didn't want me to do it. He was like, "With our luck, you'll probably get busted because there's got to be some law." And this was in Santa Monica, California. So there's this vacant apartment
Hmm.
down the hallway. I'm like, "Why don't we have this brothel? I'll call it Brothel by the Sea, and we could have sex dolls there." Bad idea.
Oh my gosh, that sounds
I
amazing.
know, right? I want to open it up. In Belgium, they've now, I mean, they're taking care of the sex workers there a lot better by giving them like health benefits, so forth, and testing.
Hmm.
But the brothel I wanted to open up was specifically sex dolls because they have one in Germany. I guess it's helping marriages somehow. But I suppose the way
Really?
yeah, I think so, right? Because there's no emotional attachment.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I guess you're not really technically cheating because it's not like a human. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of
They're
cool.
not talking back to you or arguing with you, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
So I would assume it's like I would imagine.
It is kind of
You
cool.
want to do one? You want to open up a brothel with me? We'll do a sex doll
We
one.
should.
I imagine it's like a turkey
That sounds fun.
baster with water in it. I'm just getting creative. Like when I get creative, I go into this mode.
Yeah,
You take the soap water, you plunge it in, and then I don't know, plunge it out or something. But
maybe bottle cleaner.
you know what? I'm open to any of these because I still have dreams of opening up Jasmine's brothel by the sea, not necessarily in Santa Monica, but just somewhere else.
Yeah,
And
somewhere that you're
I'll
loved.
invite you to the grand
That'd be
opening
cool.
if it ever happens.
Please do. Please do.
It's a crazy business now. Uh, so then you have your sex toys, and then what other things do you have coming out? I know that you like as far as films, and actually, how often do you shoot a month with companies? Are you exclusive to one company? Hey, so are you looking to spice things up in the bedroom? If you want to have a threesome with you, me, and Adam and Eve, go ahead on adamandeve.com. And if you put in the code CrazyTrain, that's crazy with a K, you can get up to 50% off of most items and 10 free goodies. That's right. Go to adamandeve.com and put in the code CrazyTrain, crazy with a K, and you can get up to 50% off of certain items And most of all, those 10 free gifts. You can give it to your wife, your girlfriend, whoever.
No, no, no. I shoot probably, I would say 5 to 10 times a month. And then for companies, and then I shoot quite a bit for myself. I try to do as much as possible. So here, there, everything's content, right? These days, they just want to know what you're doing. So
I don't know how you have the patience to do that.
sometimes I don't. It does take a lot. Time consuming. People think it's easy, but it's super time consuming.
I was watching
Yeah.
something on Netflix, TikTok, Dance with the Devil. Have you seen that yet?
I just watched that yesterday. How crazy is that show? It's
It
nuts.
is, but like I have this conspiracy theory that it was since it was all TikTok, were they real likes and followers? Because the guy that ran that whole conglomerate was Asian, and supposedly that's an Asian company. So was he adding all those likes and follows to give a false sense of validity to these kids and get these sponsors on board? And that's how they got the money. But how do you just,
That's actually a really good theory,
is
though.
it? So it's not a conspiracy theory. So I'm not crazy.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, because, yeah, why not? It was weird how they just like miraculously like came, like one person would like come up really high and the other person, I don't know. It's weird, that whole thing. It's interesting to see. Will they have more series of it? Like, what's going
I don't know.
on?
I think
What
it's just the three
happens?
episodes and
Have
then they're
they?
busted. But just with content creation, I just see like I couldn't imagine just sitting there like doing videos all day. How many hours a day do you dedicate specifically to your own content? And also with this type of
That's
thing, with the
true.
texting, do you think you spend like half a day doing all this or most of your day?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Half a day. Definitely. You have to really like schedule your stuff out. Like, like even going to the doctor or dentist and stuff, you have to like work around everything. It sucks. It's hard sometimes.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I'm just trying to figure out like how that works. Because then also, what about with chatting? Do you do what do you do for chatting, or do you have any type of?
So I do Minx now. It's like it's owned, I think, by Sex Panther. I think it's the same company, but Minx is more for porn stars. So I don't. It's actually been really good. I actually like it because you can flip it on when you have time, and they can call you and do video chats, and it's easy.
Not to be rude, but was there any type of weird request you've ever had, or what's the wildest one you think you've had?
Mm, I mean, recently I had one where you have to like hold them like a baby. So I guess you put the camera right here like this and like rock them and talk to them and like feed them. That's probably the most recent weird one that I've had.
Feed them what? Baby food like cyanide, NyQuil, butter muffins?
Mommy's milk, fake milk.
Okay, all right, I get that. So it's not just normal like chatting, like, "Hey, how's your day? Are you working out today? What do you do? Hey, you having dinner?" So these aren't normal.
Sometimes
Okay.
everyone's different. Seriously, it ranges. It's like, yeah, definitely all different.
Someone suggested I get that, but I don't think I'd be very positive or last very long on that. So I decided not to. Going to your OnlyFans.
Are you more like a dom though? Are you like dom or are you
Everyone
more
says
submissive?
that. Yeah, because could you imagine someone calling me? Imagine how that they wouldn't even have to pay me for that. I'd be like, listen, I hope your dick falls off. Get away from me. Don't bother me. Go home to your wife.
There might be some people out there that actually like that.
How do you advertise that? Do you want to be humiliated? Do you want to be put in your place, you little bitch? If you do, call me
Yes.
today.
Yes, exactly. Do
Where?
it.
Oh God. Okay. Okay.
Do
That's
it.
going to be my. I'm going to try.
They're out there, I promise you.
Yeah. Financial domination.
Yeah. Yes, do it. That's probably one of the good ones, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I'm kind of nice. I'm kind of more submissive. I mean, I can sometimes get in the role, but it's harder for me to do that. So, for you to be able to do that, like, I commend you. Do it, please. You make money.
Okay. I'm going to try it one day. I don't use dating apps or anything because I was thinking, wait, what if it's some guy from it, like on the dating app? Because I did dating apps briefly, and some guy went onto my OnlyFans, and I don't have very much on there. But then he messaged me, "Hey, it was really great meeting you at the Stalking Horse bar the other day." Blah blah blah. I'm like, ugh, yeah. So
Oh
I
no.
just, yeah, I can't do that.
Oh god.
No.
I've had that happen to me before. I've been at the YMCA back home and working out, and then I leave, and they're like, "Hey, was that you at the gym earlier? The Y?" And I'm like, "Oh, hi." I'm like, "Which one were you?"
Were you cute? That's, but I couldn't see you working. Okay, I could understand why the YMCA, especially from back home. It's probably really clean and
Yeah.
really, there's some really good
It's super small. It's newer, clean. Yeah, it's like the only. I mean, there's one other gym there, but it doesn't have like the sauna and everything. So
You got the sauna.
I'm
You
all
got
about
the
that.
sauna. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish my gym had the sauna, but they don't. And it's a nicer gym. So saunas I got to pay for separately. So I could see you going to a smaller gym because I wouldn't expect to see you there. But what's that like for you? Like, do you get recognized a lot of places that you go, even in public?
Sometimes it just depends on where. Like people back home know who I am because our town's so small. So a lot of people already know, or they think I'm a model, one or the other.
I would think so. Yeah,
So
I'd say she's a model. She's a local model. Um,
yeah.
Gary, Indiana. What part?
No. So Marion, it's super small. It's an hour and a half away from Indianapolis.
Mhm.
We're closer to Fort Wayne, but yeah, it's not very many people. So it's comfortable for me. So but California's home too. So I always say Indiana raised and California trained because there's a huge difference when I came here. It was a lot to like figure out and get trained on. So, but
It's a lot to take in, like when you come out here, and like I see it all the time, right? Like even
hmm
when you just go out, you see it. I like to people watch. I'm one of those. I'll just like sit there with my coffee, but I'm
yeah,
kind of ornery. I'm pretty ornery in my old age. So you could basically tell what I'm thinking. So it doesn't really go over too well. Um, but what do you get a lot of like Midwestern farmer girl themed requests like for your OnlyFans, or do you do customs?
I do customs.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's probably one of the bigger things I do on my OnlyFans. It's a lot of customs. So.
So do you get the Midwestern farmer's daughter like request at all?
No, I haven't had any. Honestly, I've had a couple that's like asked for cowgirl boots and stuff like that, but nothing like, yeah, weird or anything from back home.
What do you think you would have been if you didn't end up doing adult films or being a creator?
Uh, Honestly, that's a really good question because I went to college twice.
Right.
Once for paralegal, and then I got a paralegal job, and I hated it. And then I found out how much money you make, and I was like, "Oh no, we're not doing this." And then I went back for business, and then I was like, "But what business am I going to do?" So, and then that's when I sold my house and I came out here to LA. I was like a struggling, starving artist. Just that's I would could relate to that show that I watched too in a lot of ways because I was like, I can see how they had to like shut people off from back home and like focus mainly on just dancing because it's like there's so many other people out here doing the same thing. It's really hard to, you know, put yourself out there and look different from others and, consistency is probably the key.
So, if you're looking for the safest and coolest way to bet online and the most variety, of course, of games and like almost anything you could bet on, stop at betonline.ag because I guarantee you there is something for everyone. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back at that show and look at them. They've just made me sick to my stomach. I go to John Reed Fitness, and you see every gymfluencer in there. So most of us go to the gym without the expectation of being videotaped. I don't want to be in your stupid little video in the background. In fact, I will knock the tripod over and stomp on your phone if you continue it. So, yeah, the gym got a complaint because I actually said that to someone because I just got sick of this girl and her camera. It was one of my days when I wasn't on point with my my attitude. So, it's the same thing. Like they're part of like what's wrong with society. Then you go into the whole mental health issues because you're not getting the validity that you want from the public. Do you think that there's a parallel in the adult content creator community and that whole TikTok, maybe dancing or influencer community as far as mental health issues and the internet?
I could see that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the internet takes a toll. I cannot read comments. I don't, as bad as sometimes you want to read the comments, I can't because it can screw up your whole day. Because you're like, well, what if I'm not doing that? Maybe I should do this. Maybe, and you're just like, your brain's going like 100 different places and you're accomplishing nothing. So it can be definitely draining, like mental health wise, for sure. Yeah. And I'm sure that they battle the same thing. I mean, obviously they showed some stuff that we have to deal with. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I think with internet comments, you have to look at it as it's a wuss. It's someone who's playing keyboard warrior. They're not going to say that to your face. Um, when I was doing Springer and those shows, you'd have people in your face, like the audience. So it embeds in you a little stronger than you have national TV, people that recognize you from that and say shit to you in the street, you know? And you got to realize these people have nothing better to do with their time except look at you and pick you apart. But you're like way better than them. They wish they were you, so to speak. But don't think like what you're doing is wrong. I just see a correlation between it. I have this theory about the hooded sweatshirts, another Jasmine theory. So many younger people hide behind these hooded sweatshirts and these dark shades all the time. It's not even bright out. Is it because you're afraid of the world or it's some kind of like social anxiety, you know? Just food for thought.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that it could be probably maybe some social anxiety or just maybe not wanting to be recognized at all because you don't want to deal with people. Could be, I think sometimes here it's more like a fashion, maybe sometimes. So, it's probably can be all sorts of things.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
But
it's a
yeah,
crazy world.
it is.
Um,
Yeah.
so what do you think? What did you want to be when you're growing up? Did you want to be a model or like a vet? Um,
I actually wanted to be a guest model really bad. I wanted to be in Playboy. Um, and then I've still always wanted to be like a psychologist. I think that it would be very interesting to maybe like, I don't know, branch off or something. And then producing a movie. I think that's so dope. I want to do that. So that's on the bucket list.
but you
Yeah.
are a psychologist.
Thank you.
You
That's what I
really
feel
are.
like. I guess I just have to get the fucking paper to prove it. But yes, I
Yeah.
totally agree. I can't tell you how many times I've helped people and just sitting and talking out their problems. And it's a very interesting world we live in.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a bartender or a hairdresser or makeup artist. They always hear
True.
your problems.
Yep.
And it's all doable, feasible stuff. I do know there's a performer from the 90s era who is in mental health now and in
Hmm.
wellness, and she also does her OnlyFans and makes appearances at all the conventions. So you could actually indeed have the best of both worlds.
Nice. Yeah, totally agree with that.
Now, do you have any personal appearances? Do you like doing personal appearances like Exotica or anything like that?
Every now and then, like did the exoticas like in the beginning, but they kind of take a toll on you when you travel a lot because it's a lot of work to put into it and like bring everything with you. And I used to get sick every time I'd leave, so I stopped really doing the exoticas. Um, I definitely think it's important for like newcomers to like experience that though, I think. But I do like XBiz, AVN. Unless I'm nominated, I'm probably not showing up because it's a lot of work. um, but yeah, I do. I was feature dancing for a while, for a couple years.
Oh,
It was a lot on the body and mind and traveling, right? And it wasn't traveling to places that I like really wanted to go to. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I only do New York now. And I'm
Sapphire.
back to doing more content. So,
Who has features in here like Sapphires? When I was featuring, we would do
mhm.
24 shows a week.
There's no way.
Because of my rate, I was then narrowed down to 9 shows a week or
Ugh.
6 shows. And
Yeah.
that's fine. But imagine like in the beginning when I was just like a penthouse model, it was 24 shows. I'd show up. I was getting paid like $100 or $200 on stage. When I
Ugh.
got into penthouse, I was like 500 per show.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Polaroids, 8x10s, and VHS tapes. But it was a pain in the
Wow.
ass. I love VHS, by the way, but it's a pain to lug that stuff around, because
Right.
those are like thick
Right.
things. So you'd have like one trunk, then another trunk with like all your stage gear, and then
Yes.
your suitcase. So it's 3 bags. So I made friends with
Yep.
every guy at the airport, like at LAX. I tipped them $20. Photos. You want a video? Sure. Here you go. But thank you so much for taking care
Yeah.
of my stuff. But I get you. I feel you on that. But it was a lot. It was very taxing on the body than leaving one
Mm-hmm.
place on a Sunday to go to another place and dealing with another
Mm-hmm.
scumbag club owner.
Yeah, pretty much.
I ripped the phone out of a wall one night. That's how crazy it got. Because sometimes
Oh,
there were some people didn't want to pay, and then your manager is like nowhere to be found. So what do? You just rip the phone out of the wall, and
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Get their attention.
Exactly.
I bet it
Get
works.
everyone's attention, even the house girls. Did you enjoy future dancing? Like you got to meet your fans and everything, right?
I did. Like, so I got to meet some great fans actually that are still like very loyal to me to this day. So that's cool. That's the only like, and then you get to like go to the little small hometowns and find what they find cool or food that they eat there. So that was cool. But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot. Your days and nights are mixed up. It takes you a day to get back on track. But like, I end up drinking or partying and because everyone is, and it just, how it goes.
Bob Evans, Cracker Barrel, Perkins,
Yeah.
Shoney's, all the fine
Waffle
eateries.
House.
Oh, I love Waffle House.
I
Oh
love
my
the Waffle
God.
House too.
Oh. Waffle House is the best. I like their
It really
raisins.
is.
Scrambled eggs.
Yes, scrambled eggs and a chocolate chip waffle, and bacon, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah. Could we have that shipped here to California via DoorDash? Probably.
right? It's
There'll
like,
be like
what's going
one
on here?
driver that takes the trip, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be cold and soggy. But I always like meeting different people from the business, like nowadays, because it's always interesting to hear your stories and what made you decide to do this, and most of all, like what you anticipated it to be, because so many people have different, expectations of the business. Now, do you ever see yourself perhaps going overseas to work, like working on the industry there? Because there's a lot of opportunity in like Hungary and places like that.
Yes, yes. I definitely want to. This year I'm gonna break out of my shell and do my anal scene that they've all been waiting for. So that's in the works. And then yeah, hopefully do a Europe trip. I went there for XBiz last year, Amsterdam, and met lots of people and shot for a company over there. And it was a lot of fun. It was a different crowd of people, and I don't know, it's more laid back. So, and I love Europe anyway, so I definitely have to go over there and check it out, see what the guys are all about.
The guys, I can tell
Yeah,
you about the guys. They're way better than like a lot of. They're better than California guys, that's for sure. Um, and they're
that's so
usually
cool.
uncut. That's the other thing. So with anal, it's olive oil. Like olive oil is your bestie usually, and that's
Okay.
like I could not stand doing anal scenes, but that's like the first thing I started with was a DP scene. I had no
Yeah.
clue what I was in for. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is like horseshit. But you might enjoy it. It sounds like it's a better thing, and it's paced like you paced it however you wanted to. You weren't just like thrown into it,
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
and that's important. That's good. So, what do you have coming up in the meantime? What do we have scene wise coming out?
We have the new browsers thing coming out. I have a new, well, I'm not supposed to say, but I have another new big scene coming out, so that hopefully will drop soon. And then I have a lot of new content coming to my pages, so definitely have to look out for that.
And what are
Some
your pages, really quick, on your OnlyFans and all that stuff?
OnlyFans, mini vids. Pornhub's a little harder now, So we have a new one that somebody was telling me about the other day. What was it? Sheer. So I'm going to be signing up there, get content out there. But yeah, so those are my main ones. And Minx, of course.
If people want to find you on social media to keep up with everything that you're doing, where would they go?
So my Twitter obviously probably is the most explicit. And that's Rachael Cavalli. And then we have only, or not OnlyFans, but we do have OnlyFans, but Instagram, official Rachael Cavalli. And I have tons of fake ones out there, so make sure you're following the right one. And then OnlyFans is my big one. So that's at Rachael Cavalli. And then Mini Vids and Minx. They're all at Rachael Cavalli.
Are we spelling Minx M-I or M-Y?
MYNX.
And real quick about Pornhub, why do you think it's a little bit more difficult now than it was before to have content on there? Do you think it's because of revenge porn and maybe not having the proper release forms?
No, I think it's like the whole like 7 minute upload thing. If you don't do it like often, then they knock you off. And I don't know. It's something you get really organized with, and stay on top of. So,
Yeah. Sherry DeVille was on my live stream a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about Pornhub and just, them being ethical and
mhm.
so forth. So I had no idea there was an XBiz overseas that I have to check into because I will probably join you guys there
Yes.
1 year with a booth with my podcast, not to do scenes.
Uh-huh.
Those days are long gone, but I appreciate you keeping the torch going for a lot of us out there that, quit a while ago. And there's some girls that still do it. I don't have the stamina or the patience for it, but I congratulate you for having all the patience in the world. Do you have any messages for your fans?
That I love you all. And without you, I wouldn't be here.
Aw. Well, okay.
For sure.
Scene. That's perfect. From America's favorite milk.